Hello there and welcome to Glencairn once again. I'm standing in front of one of my favourite houses, Glenluiart. Glenluiart is an arts and crafts house which was built right at the beginning of the 20th century. Land was acquired from a nearby estate, Craigdarroch, at the end of the 19th century, and over several years the house was constructed. It was designed for Mrs. Moniaive, the widow of a local minister, and she came into some money after her father died. He was a Kent lawyer, and she decided to build this house here. And she used the services of her brother, a London-based architect, to actually design it, although in fact it was supervised on the ground by Barber, the Dumfries architect. But William Westneave is the man most associated with this style. And you can see that it has Elizabethan elements in it. It harks back to another period, but it's very modern for the time, and it uses local materials. There's local whinstone and there's red sandstone, exactly the same stone that was quarried to build the tenements of Glasgow. It was very much party central when it opened, and the family entertained here, and there's a rather nice document in which the family lists all the various goings on. And one of the goings on was an endless supply of tea parties, and they entertained all sorts of people, local MPs and notables. But one of the people that the two people that always stick in my mind are two sisters who came to teach singing to the daughters of Mrs. Moniaive, and they were from Devon, and they were known as the Devonshire Nightingales. So they stayed for several days. But one of the most frequent visitors was the local doctor, Dr. Adamson, who was famous for his consumption of cake. And I think they almost went to the stage of hiding the various gingerbreads every time he and his wife came, because they would demolish almost half each, and what they didn't eat, they would take away in a bag with them. So there was a lot of things happened here, but rather sadly, it sort of went into decline after about 1912, when Mrs. Moniaive died. And she was such an important local figure that the streets were lined with people, and her cortege moved from here to the cemetery at the other end of the village, which we'll go to one day. And 2 or 3 years later, both her sons were killed at the Battle of Loos. So although the house continued in the same family for a number of decades, it was never quite the same. But in recent years, a number of residents have done a lot of work on this house, so it's being restored to its former glory, which is fantastic.